Joining us now is Yuki Tatsumi, Director of the Japan Program at the Stimson Center. Yuki, thank you for joining us. What did you
Thank you
make
for
of
having
the
me, Clay.
president's meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister?
Well, I think it was a very good first meeting. I think all of us are, because this is a very first meeting in person, I think a lot of us are expecting not too much substantive comes out. It will be, we expect it to be more of an exchange of pleasantry and nothing more than that. No, it really defied our expectation in some of the very good way. I think this was a very good first meeting for Mr. Ishiba with President Trump.
What can you tell us about the Prime Minister's leadership style? We know that he's only been in office for a few months at this point. What do you think are the expectations, especially from a minority government?
I think moving forward with a minority government for the next several months, it'll definitely be a little bit of difficult going for Mr. Ishiba. His leadership style is very different from Mr. Trump's very good friend, late former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Mr. Abe was more of a visionary, and he talked about big vision first, and then delegate the details to his staff. Mr. Ishiba is kind of a other way around leader, so he's very meticulous in terms of framing his logic toward his policy approaches, very logical thinking, and a very detail oriented. So very, very opposite of Mr. Abe, but nonetheless, he does care about the defense. He cares deeply about U.S.-Japan alliance, and he's a strong advocate for strong Japan's defense capability.
Well, you mentioned that there weren't a lot of details discussed, but President Trump says that Japanese Nippon Steel is dropping its purchase to buy U.S. steel and instead will make an investment in the company. This comes after former President Biden blocked the sale before he left office. What do you make of this latest development?
So this is really interesting development, and this is, I think, one of the most unexpected aspect of the summit that none of us really expected 2 years to go into this much detail, let alone reaching an agreement of some sort. But to tell the truth, what the president explained at this press conference was really much closer to the reality of the Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel business transactions. It was not so much of a merger. It was more about Nippon Steel investing heavily in the U.S. Steel to basically rebuild the company and bring more jobs to the United States. So I think Mr. Trump just looks at the deal as it really is, as opposed to what is often colored by labor unions argument about how this is going to steal a job. It is quite opposite. And that is why after President Biden opposed it, his own Democratic governor, Governor Shapiro, said he continues to hope for this deals to come through. So I think this is a really good news for the steel industry for the United States.
Well, we'll be watching that closely. Quickly, I know that the two leaders spoke on the nuclear capabilities of North Korea. You talked about the importance of defense to the new prime minister. How do you see the two countries tackling this issue under the new Trump administration?
I think two countries, first and foremost, will really work together much more closely than ever before about basically strengthening their deterrence capability as an alliance, as a package. Japan is doing its own share in terms of shoring up its own defense capability, but there are some complementarity between the two two militaries. So I think that is really the focus that two leaders will be focusing on. Japan focused more on the shoring up its own conventional deterrence capability while continue to rely upon strengthened and credible U.S. Nuclear deterrence.
Well, it's certainly something to watch closely. Thank you so much, Yuki Tatsumi, for joining us with your time.
Thank you for having me.